Okay guys, so our favorite Stellaron Hunters, Silver Wolf, Kafka and Blade have all gotten a buff this patch. And let's not forget about Jingliu as well. So how good are they now? Are they back in the meta? Let's take a look. As usual, these are the table of contents of the topics that I'll be talking in this video. Feel free to skip forward to the part you prefer to watch. Alright, for the first buff character, Silver Wolf. The base chance on her skill and ultimate has been improved to 120%. The bugs and the secondary rest spent from skill are however at 100% base, so EHR requirement has been lowered to 67%, which is the same as Pella. Her skill now prioritizes weakness implant of the first slot ally. This is an excellent change, no more resetting just to get the weakness that you want. And if you're afraid of the slot restriction, like for example, Jingliu wants to get hit, so she would prefer slot 2 or 3, all you gotta do is to just put someone of the same element on your slot 1 instead, such as Robin in this case. After Silver Wolf implants the weakness, she lowers the rest by 20% as always, and then there's another 100% base chance for an additional 13%, for a total of 33% all type rest spent. Note that these two are separate and are also on different turns. The 20% is 3 turns and the 13% is 2 turns. Why are they not the same? I don't know. The defense shred of one of her bugs was buffed from 8 to 12%, which is an excellent change. Her ultimate is now AoE, which is the most huge thing out of this buff. Silver Wolf now has a AoE 45% defense down from her ultimate, 12% from her bug, and 16% if you're running Resolution S5 like Kun. This brings the total defense down to 73%. And if you have Ciphers like Kun on Silver Wolf with 170 speed, she now can do a 81% defense down. And that's just Silver Wolf, by the way. That's a lot. Her talent now transfers the weakness implant when the enemy is defeated. It prioritizes elite targets or higher. The rest down also follows it. Very good change. For tracers, A4 has been changed to 20 energy at the start of the battle and 5 energy per turn. This is great as it helps with her energy issues that she had previously, especially getting the first turn ultimate. Okay guys, I'm going to show you 3 energy cults I have of Silver Wolf. Okay, so this is the turn 1 ultimate. Right, at the battle start, you have 50% of energy when you go into like your end game, so 55. And then A4 start, right, you get 20. And the trace itself, when she gets a turn, 5, basic 20. So with the ER rope, you just nice can hit the 110. And if you have no ER rope, you cannot hit. I'm going to show the formula just to show that I'm not just putting random numbers here. And yes, you can ignore this. This is actually the true value. So actually it's not times 1.19, it's actually times this one. So the true value will be like this, about the same. Okay, no change. And then what happens after you use her ultimate, right? This is how to get the next ultimate. So every time you out, you get back 5. Then A4 trace, 5. Skill 30, basic 20, skill 30. Basically, you need to have 2 skill and 1 basic with your ER, rope, and planner. You just nice, you hit. If you don't have the planner, you miss out by like 3 energy, even if you use the true value. So now, what if you have an E1 Silver Wolf with tutorial? So now, when you use your out and you have 5 debuff, you get 40 energy. Of course, you get 7 energy per debuff and up to a cap of 5, so 35 plus 5. And then when you use your out on the monster, if they have the defense down, that's how you use the tutorial. So someone have to apply the defense down for Silver Wolf. Then you get 8 energy from tutorial. Then the A4 trace, when she starts her turn, you get 5. And then skill plus the 8 energy from tutorial, you get 38. Again, you do need the ER planner, if not you miss out. Okay, you need the ER planner. Even with the true value, you still miss out a little bit. A6, for every 10% EHR, she gets 10% attack for a max of 50% attack. This is automatically fulfilled by her minimum EHR requirement of 67%. For her Eidolons, only E2 change, very massive change as well. 20% vulnerability, and she basically gets E6 Black Swan. When allies attack, she can apply a bug, making her insane as a debuff applier for Acheron. Silver Wolf overall is the biggest winner for the first set of all character buffs. With the EHR requirement lowered, you are now free to build other stats She can even be a reliable sub-DPS. Is she back in the meta? For Acheron? Absolutely. Now we want to run Cypher and either Silver Wolf or Jiao Qiu depending on the content. For single target, definitely Silver Wolf. AoE content such as Pure Fiction, Jiao Qiu will definitely be the better pick. For any other DPS, she's definitely close to or on par with other supports. Kafka. Her skill now detonates all 3 targets instead of only the main target, which is what she should have always been doing from the very beginning. I'm glad that she can do this now. So the main target gets 75% and the side target gets 50% of the original. This makes her synergy with Black Swan even better than before, as Black Swan is also 3 targets. The shock applied from her ultimate has been increased by 20% of its original damage, up from 100%, and now triggers all dots by default. It used to require A2, very good. Talent is now any attack, okay? It used to be follow-up attack from your ally instead of basic attack. The limit has been changed from 1 to 2, and every turn she can recover 1 use. Now there's no more pressure to always have an ally basic attack per Kafka's turn. Just need to do any action, no skill, ultimate, basic, or work. Now you might be wondering, what's the point of the limit change if any attack will trigger? Let's take a look at the new traces. A2 has been changed to if allies have at least 75% EHR, they get a 100% attack buff. This is pretty massive. You can even give Robin an EHR body and drop the attack body and you get a 100% attack buff. However, I feel like Robin is pretty niche in dot teams, as you are unable to keep up the energy unless you run Ho-Ho or a Gallagher with Crit Pro-Co. A6 has been changed to after using ultimate, you can recover 1 follow-up attack count. And whenever Kafka triggers follow-up attacks, all dots immediately activate, dealing damage equal to 80% of the original. So not everything that Kafka does, except basic attack, they can trigger dots. It's really good. E1 was changed from talent activation to any attack, as it should. E2 now buffs dot by 33% instead of 25%. So it's a bit of a small increase. Overall, Kafka's buffs are pretty good. She can now trigger a lot more dot than before, while also having that massive 100% attack buff for any of her team members that meet the requirement. Will dot finally be safe? I wouldn't say these changes bring dot back to the meta, but let's hope that the upcoming character, Hysilence, can save dot alongside Kafka. Late. He is now fully HP scaling. He used to be split scaling, some attack, some HP, which was bad. I'm glad that he's now fully HP. His multipliers got slightly buffed, and during Hellscape, he now gains a taunt like Yun Li's Light Cone, which is excellent, so he can get hit more for more follow attack charges. For his tracers, all 3 of them got changed. A2 sets his total accumulated HP loss to 50% when he uses his ultimate, which is a boost to his new Eidolon 1. And his ultimate is good now since the tally doesn't reset to 0. A4 gets the 20% incoming healing, which used to be one of his older tracers, then converts 25% of the healed amount to the ultimate tally, and the condition has been removed. A6 now 20% more damage from his talent and follow attack, and the biggest change of all, 15 energy. This means that he can have more consistent ultimates, and he also has 25 energy per follow-up attack. With his increased aggro, he's going to out way more often. His new E1 has been changed from just the ultimate to both the ultimate and the enhanced basic attack, equal to 150% of his tally. This is great, and remember the new A2? Instead of 0%, the tally is now set to 50%. So this is the buff to his new Eidolon 1. Overall, Blade is now kinda like Win My Day, much more smooth to play. I wouldn't say this buff puts him anywhere near the version 3 DPS, but at least 5 cycles may finally be reachable for him. With the best support for HP scaling, E0S1 Hyacinth, maybe even 0 cycles could be reachable for him. Lastly, Jingliu. Change to fully HP scaling, no more attack scaling. Her talent, When entering her spectral state, she now gains an extra stack of Syzygy. This is very good so that she doesn't expire the spectral state so easily. This is one of her biggest problems. Now gains 1 stack of Moonlight whenever allies take damage or get their HP consumed. This replaces the massive attack buff that she gets in her spectral state. And because of this, Hyacinth Light Cone stocks have gone up and is now Jingliu's best teammate. Yep, the Light Cone and not Hyacinth. Each stack of Moonlight gives 44% crit damage, maximum of 5 stacks, so total 220 crit damage. Yet another huge stat stick for Jingliu. Syzygy also now caps at 4, which used to be the E6 buff. When allies take damage or lose HP 20 times, she gains a stack of Syzygy. So basically, again, telling you to pull for Hyacinth's Light Cone. A2 and A6 got merged, so 35% effect rest, which is kinda useless, and 20% ultimate damage. For A4 Trace, we lost the 10% action advance, but skill now regens extra 15 energy, and her enhanced skill regens an extra 8 energy. She can now have a pretty good ultimate uptime. Because of the merge, the new A6 Trace lets her next attack ignore 25% defense if she obtains Syzygy at max stacks. Again, trying to tell you to pull for Hyacinth's Light Cone. So you see why the Light Cone is so good. Her E1 is now 36% crit damage when using ultimate or enhanced skill, up from 24%, and is no longer limited to single target. E4 has to be changed since the O1 buffs attack. So now each Moonlight additionally gives 20 crit damage, up to 64% per stack, total 320 crit damage. That's a lot of crit damage and is literally too much crit damage. E6 also got changed. Syzygy limit increased by 1 yet again, and you gain 2 stacks of it when you enter spectral state. She also gets a whopping 30% ice rest spend. That's even more than any of the E6 characters. And also the 50% crit damage got removed, but it's fine, she has too much crit damage. Overall, Jingliu got great changes, so if you really own her, she's finally usable again. She also has to get new relics since her scaling has been changed. And like we all know, she has too much crit damage, right? So you probably want to run a HP % body instead, since that will be a stat that should be lacking. She meta again? Probably not. She definitely can hold her own now, and like Blade, should be comfortable to clear the end game. Last of all, nobody's Light Cone got changed, which is a shocker for Jingliu since she has been flipped completely from attack scaling to HP scaling. Should you pull for them? Well, in my opinion, I wouldn't for most of them, whether you're free to play or you're a spender, unless they are your favorite characters. These are all old characters, version 1 characters. Great if you already own them, else there's better value in getting the newer characters instead. An E0S0 buffed version 1 character will never compete with a new character released years later. And if they are going to continue the trend of buffing old characters, as they have said so, characters released in year 2 may eventually get buffs as well, which most likely will surpass the version 1 characters. But if you want to pull for them, I would only consider Kafka or Silverwolf. Kafka is the core of Dot, being the only one right now to be able to activate any kind of dots, which greatly helps the playstyle's main weakness of dealing absolutely no damage until the mob takes their turn. And while Dot is in a bad place right now, we all know the upcoming Nighty character, High Silence, has been hinted to be a Dot character, based on their Divergent Universe buffs. It is likely that she could save Dot, hopefully for more than one patch. Saying this because of Black Swan. Silverwolf's new kit makes her so good, she's essentially the best pick for Akron, but who's to say Jiao Qiu wouldn't get buffed later on, surpassing her? Or even coming out with a new debuffer. You know, they're not going to completely forget about the Nihility buff. Well, this is kind of doom posting something that hasn't happened yet. The point I'm trying to bring across is, if you already own Jiao Qiu or Cypher, or both, There is no need to pull for Silver Wolf just to get a minor upgrade. Remember what I said, she is an older character. For Blade and Jingliu, they are both DPSs and will probably fall off later on, just like every other DPS, and probably not worth considering to pick up if you don't already own them. If you want a DPS, I recommend getting Finon, as he's the newest DPS with a much higher damage ceiling. That is all for this video. Thank you for taking your time to watch it. Take care and have a great day. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Bye bye.